I guess right now people would think that I'm going through a pretty hard trial. My husband is in Afghanistan. He got deployed a little while ago. I have a 2-year-old daughter. I'm due in 11 days, and I live with my in-laws.
Probably the biggest trial lately was last year when Alex was in the hospital. It's pretty scary having your child in the intensive care unit, and he almost died. And it was hard. On a spiritual level, just knowing the plan of salvation was such a help for us. Just knowing that if the worst should happen, if Alex did die, we were still a family. He was still ours.
I guess some of the trials I'm experiencing right now, I'm on strict bed rest right now for the rest of my pregnancy until it's safe for the baby to come.
When my husband was diagnosed with cancer for the second time, he was given 9 months is what the doctor said, and I had 3 young kids. Levi was 3 months old, and that was one of my biggest trials, where I was up at night, not able to sleep, couldn't eat because I felt sick just to my stomach. There were times when I couldn't even take care of my little baby because there was just so many things to figure out with the trial.
My parents got divorced when I was a little girl, I was 6. But recently in conference they talked about how to climb mountains, like trials are mountains that you climb or whatever, and it said the Lord gives you trials to kind of like purifies you and makes you become the woman, the person that He wants you to become. And it's been easier to look at trials in my life and overcome those trials just by relying on the Lord and knowing that He's giving me these so I can be a better woman, the woman He wants me to become.
It was my second pregnancy with Rigel, and I remember I was just really, really sick and feeling really discouraged, like this is happening again, you know, hoping that it was just a fluke with my first pregnancy. And Tom had given me a blessing. He had given me a blessing, and in the blessing it had said, you know, lean on Christ through this because He understands. And I remember after the blessing, He hooked up my IV, laid me down to take a nap. He took Xander out and our oldest out. And I remember laying there just feeling really alone and discouraged.
I think some advice that I would have for people going for trials is to try and look for the Lord.
A sissy, I think. And I appreciate any help I can get.
My advice about how to make it through a trial would be to pray and rely upon the Lord. Ask not to be able to get through the trial maybe, or that the thing will be lifted from you, but for comfort to know that you can make it through that trial.
Prayer is, I think, through any trial, it seems like our connection to heaven is the strong, you know, the most powerful thing to get us through something. Because when you do have that connection, it makes a world of difference, and when it's not there, it's just awful.
Never prayed as hard in my life to help us through that trial, to save my husband.
All over the country, our friends and relatives who knew of the issue were praying for him. We had a special Sunday where everybody fasted for him, and that Sunday was the turning point.
I definitely have a testimony that we have to have trials. We couldn't have the Book of Mormon, we couldn't have our temple work without the trials that our pioneers have gone through. And look how easy we have it. Truly, I don't have to wade through a river and die on a trail. I just have to wake up every morning and right now to entertain my kids for the summer. When Joseph's going to have left, I had to do that.
I don't know if I could say I'm grateful for the trial, but I'm grateful for how much of a stronger person I am.
So I do have a testimony of the importance of trials, and that even though it may seem that there's no end in sight, that if we rely on the Lord, that the end does come, and that He loves us, and that He really does want what's best for us.
It all seems to work out, and where you think it's going to be really, really bad, something will happen that'll make it not so bad, and it'll be okay.
I know that trials are God's way of showing us that He loves us enough to give us trials, and that He wants us to have a strong relationship with Him, and so that is a way that we can rely on Him. I know that as we come to Him during trials, that He'll put His arms around us and take us to where we need to go.
It's kind of neat to think that they're tailored to us. Kind of makes you think, in kind of a weird, indirect way, the Heavenly Father loves you because He's giving you what you need, even though you hate it. Whereas it's not just random, I guess.
Heavenly Father loves us. There's no question. Doesn't matter what your trials are. Everyone's going to have them. Everyone's going to struggle, from the horrible, worst things you can think of to, I don't have enough money to buy milk tomorrow or whatever, and that's just, saying. It doesn't matter what your trials are, you're here for the purpose to return to our Heavenly Father.
The words of the blessing came back to me, rely on Christ, and I kept thinking, how can I rely on Him when He has never been pregnant? He has never gone through this. He's never experienced morning sickness. And I'm laying there thinking, I'm so thirsty, I'm so dehydrated because I can't even keep ice chips down. As I was laying there, this vision, very vivid vision, came to me of Christ on the cross. And when He was really thirsty, and all they gave Him was vinegar from a sponge to drink. And at that moment, I realized He may not have experienced pregnancy. He may not have known what it felt like to throw up 100 times a day. But He did understand the extreme thirst. He knew the physical discomfort. He had been through so much. And so through that experience, in my other pregnancies, I've been able to rely on that a lot. And also in other trials in my life. When I think I'm alone, nobody understands what this feels like, I think back to that experience, and I know that He does understand, no matter how I like to think that He doesn't. He really does, and He's there.